Be sure to subscribe to Solutionaries to see all our latest videos right here on YouTube.
Now that I'm older, I'm like, I can't believe I used to do those kind of things. You know, when I see them drifting and, you know, corners shutting down the freeways, I can't believe that.
When Bobby Flowers was a teen growing up in Detroit, he loved drag racing on city streets.
It's a rush, you know, that's all I can really say. It's a little rush, and even if you're not racing, just watching there doing it, that's what brings so many spectators. It's still a rush.
Those spectators are now growing exponentially on social media. Detroit Police Commander Eric Decker is with the Organized Crime Unit.
This just came up in one of these investigations. This guy had his own website on his car. Took off from officers one weekend, stopped because he, at that time, wasn't doing anything wrong, to be able to identify him, and then look at his car, and he had his own social media site on there. And then to go back to it and see that at that time and date, he's talking about running from the police.
The mentality in the social media is totally different now. You know, before we didn't have a cell phone to call and say, meet me here. In 2 seconds on a phone, there's 100 people there within 10 minutes.
As technology becomes more powerful and the attention that goes with it more addictive, Commander Decker says their focus is increasingly on social media.
I have some of the smartest people that work for me, whether they're sworn officers or intel people, but they're watching you. And, you know, if you want to put it out there, thank you, because we're going to come and visit you.
Choosing not to record yourself engaged in illegal activity, let alone posting it, sounds like common sense. But Professor of Psychology VIRGIL Hill says it's not that simple.
It's almost like you have someone starting an engine in a car without a skilled driver behind the wheel, because especially young people, they have all of these desires to kind of gain status, to get new experiences, to gain prestige in their environment. At the same time, they don't have the sorts of cognitive control structures in place to stop them from doing really stupid things.
Attracting more followers and shoring up likes and shares has led to more dramatic risks on the streets.
I think social media completely fuels the drag racing drifting. You go out there, maybe you'd spin your car around a couple of times, but if nobody's looking, I just don't see the thrill of it. But now when you can post this up on social media and get all these followers, up to a point that you could physically get paid if you get enough followers, that's what's driving it.
Is it a double-edged sword to a degree for these people? I mean, yes, you want those followers, but man, there is a lot of evidence here for police to go through.
Absolutely, and that's where we're focusing. We're not going to be shy about it. If that's what you want to do, is put it up on your social media site, you can bet Detroit police are monitoring your social media site. And if you're one of those main influencers and part of this crazy drifting community to get more people out there, we're coming after you. And we've done it very well. We've executed search warrants. We've taken some doors off the hinges. We've taken cars.
Holding tech companies accountable, forcing these platforms to remove dangerous videos, has not yet gained traction.
I think it'll take pressure from police chiefs, from politicians, from the community to say enough is enough and put that back to the social media sites, and for them to go, okay, you're right, and remove that.
Oh, I think tech companies most certainly have a role as well. And I completely agree with the idea that there just isn't the sort of a sustained political will and financing that would be required to deal with these situations more quickly.
They're advocating an illegal activity. I think they are definitely culpable for this, and I'd like to see more pressure put on them. It's an illegal activity and people are dying.
Parents and guardians also play an important role, being engaged with their child's use of social media and having honest conversations about the risks involved.
Is there an easy message that parents can send to their kids that would help kids mature more rapidly? I don't think so. That's why I think parents monitoring their children, being more involved and aware of what they're posting, how they're posting, and consequences of those sorts of things would probably be the most important thing as kids are still going through these maturational processes.
On the streets, the strategy is evolving. Detroit police are focused less on arrests and impounding vehicles and more on catching the influencers and heavy hitters.
Last year we had a lot more officers out there, and they're a lot more traffic focused. Just any stop they could make. And when you have that multitude of force, cars stop more. This year, it's fallen under my preview, organized crime.
Here's a look at the stats in Detroit. Last year, police conducted more than 2,500 traffic stops, impounded 258 vehicles, and made 140 felony arrests. So far this year, police have conducted 263 traffic stops, impounding 72 vehicles, and made 24 felony arrests.
Probably at the end of the year, we're not going to have, it might be half of the numbers as far as how many tickets we wrote, how many cars we impounded, maybe even arrest. Again, it's lower in manpower, but it's a lot more laser focused. So that's why the numbers are different. You know, it's more of an operation currently just to keep people moving, to not let people organize, to not let people stop.
Getting drivers off city streets and racetracks like this could be one of the best bets to curbing illegal activity. The MILAN Dragway has just reopened after a 2-year hiatus and is one of the only dragways of its kind in Southeast Michigan.
We love drag racing, and this was the last place in Detroit that was left to do it, so we didn't want that to go by the wayside. There's something for everyone here. You can bring your mom's minivan, or you can bring your top fuel dragster.
Harold Bullock and Perry Merlo are the new co-owners of the MILAN Dragway, and they say this racetrack has everything adrenaline junkies are looking for.
We do a lot of no prep racing, which is what those guys like. That means we don't put any traction compound or rubber on the track, and this is an actual street feel.
When these cars go down this track, not only do you hear it, you feel it when they go through here. It vibrates your whole body when they go through.
We carry fuel, we carry nitrous oxide, we carry CO2. Anything a street racer would need, he could come here and do it in a confined area and not have to worry about getting in trouble.
Well, it's affordable to come here, especially compared to street racing where you might lose your life or, best case scenario, lose your car. Even if you do crash here, the odds are very good that you'll get out and walk away from your car.
I'd much rather see them go someplace where it's safe, sign a waiver when you walk in there going, hey, this is really dangerous activity and I may be hurt, but I'm not holding somebody else accountable. And like I talked about, that innocent victim that's just driving down the road, this is happening on public highways.
As drifting becomes more and more popular on social media, the MILAN Dragway is actually in the process of converting this parking lot into a drift pad so drivers can record themselves drifting safely and then post it online for others to see.
You come here, that you're not going to run into anybody. You can go as fast as you want, and you're with like-minded people. A
lot of those people that are street racing out there are young. They didn't even have a track back then to go to. So now we have this to come here and just see if you like it. You might like it better than the streets.
Bobby is now a regular at the MILAN Dragway.
I'm here 80 hours a week. I love it.
He's found a new way to pursue his passion for speed, but says it's challenging to tackle the culture of drag racing and drifting when part of the thrill is breaking the law.
Does it ever factor in that this is illegal and dangerous?
All the time.
But that doesn't deter.
No, they does not scare them away. One light down the corner, wait a few minutes till it gets closer before they take off.
He was once zipping through the Motor City at breakneck speeds, but a horrific crash changed his course.
What stopped me was an accident on 4th Street that a lady was killed, so I totally walked away from it then. So they did, but it's happening now and they're still not stopping these kids.
What impact did that have on you?
It pretty much halted my whole street racing. I didn't want to see that or participate in that anymore. I felt bad for the families and the people went to jail for the accident and everything, and good friends of mine. I wish the kids could see that and not go and let that happen to them.
Whether it's having a safe space to race, cracking down on social media companies, or talking to your kids about the risks and consequences, there are solutions out there, but it's clear it will take a community buy-in.
There is a lot to discuss here, and we'd like to hear your opinions. Drop a comment below and make sure you hit subscribe to stay up to date with Solutionaries.